Hello ladies and gentlemen and movie lovers of all kind, and welcome back to the channel. As always, I am your host, Brett Murphy, and for today's video, it is going to be another Cinema Showdown versus video. And it is going to be a movie battle between Sonic and Sonic 2. So Sonic the Hedgehog 2 just dropped in theaters this past weekend and went over extremely well. Not only did this sequel make an absolute killing at the box office, but it is receiving rave reviews, setting up an undoubtable sequel. But the real question that I am looking to answer today is which movie was better, the original or the sequel? Well, we're about to find out. Before I hop into the actual showdown itself, I just wanted to let you all know that I have an entire playlist dedicated to all of my Cinema Showdown versus videos, so be sure to check that out, and I guarantee you'll find something you like. And so without further ado, let's hop right into things. Round 1. Main characters. The first Sonic flick, of course, starred the blue blur himself, Sonic the Hedgehog. Joining him on this big screen adventure is primarily Tom, played by James Marsden. And later on in the story, they are joined by his wife Maddie, played by Tika Sumpter. There are some other minor players sprinkled in here and there as well, like Wade, and Maddie's sister, Rachel. But for the most part, this is a road trip adventure buddy comedy with Sonic and Tom. Its sequel, however, has pretty much all the same players, but with a much lesser focus on Tom and Maddie. Instead, it introduces us to a few iconic characters from Sonic's lore, like Tails, voiced by the original voice actress Colleen O'Shaughnessy, and Knuckles, voiced by the always rugged and charming Idris Elba. Though I love Tom and Maddie and really wish we got more of them in this sequel, there is no denying that audiences everywhere, myself included, are here for Sonic and the other characters from the video game universe. The sequel delivered that and did so perfectly. Round 1 is going to go to Sonic 2. Round 2. Villains. For this round, I don't really have to split things up as finely as I normally do, because for both movies, their main villain is Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik. And if you'd like, you can also count his assistant, Agent Stone, played by Lee Majjoub. In the first, Robotnik is more of an unorthodox and very zany government agent. He has a full head of hair and is a narcissistic and egotistical genius. He's hilarious, arrogant, and just the right amount of absurd. However, in the sequel, he kicks all of that up to 11. It really feels like director Jeff Fowler just said, go do your thing. Go nuts, have fun, do whatever you feel like doing. To me, that is when Jim Carrey is at his absolute best, when he can just go out there and do his Jim Carrey thing, and just get absolutely carried away with it. It works for this sequel that gives us a far more delusional and unhinged version of the character. He really does feel like a cartoon come to life, and I loved every single second of it. This round is also going to go to Sonic 2. Round 3. Plot and themes. The plot for the first Sonic movie is pretty simple. After being sent away as a child, Sonic lives a quiet, ghost-like life on Earth just outside of a small town called Green Hills. One night, his emotions get the best of him and he releases a massive electric shockwave that has the world on high alert. The US military tasks Dr. Robotnik, played by the endlessly entertaining Jim Carrey, with hunting down the source of this powerful, brand new, and unknown energy. Sonic ends up with the town's sheriff, Tom, and through some unfortunate circumstances, the two find themselves on the run from Robotnik and on their way to San Francisco. The movie boasts some excellent themes of finding your place, family, friendship, and really just discovering who you are. The sequel gets a bit more complicated. Long story short, Knuckles, the last known surviving member of an ancient tribe known as the Echidna, teams up with the miraculously still alive Dr. Robotnik to of course track down our hero Sonic for their own individual means. Meanwhile, another new character by the name of Tails catches wind of this plan and travels all the way across the universe to warn Sonic. Knuckles believes that Sonic is the key to finding the long-lost and very mysterious Master Emerald, while Robotnik just plainly and simply wants revenge. Tails and Sonic take it upon themselves to try and find the Master Emerald first, and therein lies our new story. The themes for this movie were pretty much almost all the same as the first, in all honesty, except this time around, rather than being applied to Sonic, they are instead applied to the new characters like Tails and Knuckles. Whereas Sonic learns a little bit about maturing and what it means to be a hero. I really do think that both of these stories have their merits. The first feels like a more narrowly focused flick with stronger themes, whereas the second feels like a more grand adventure, but its themes aren't quite as strong. It is really going to come down to your own individual preference as to which you like more. For myself, I'm going to be giving this third round to the first Sonic. Round 4. Action, comedy, and other family elements. Each of these elements play into the audience's enjoyment. For the adult, and of course the target audience, the children. Again, this round, just like the villains round, can really be discussed all at once. In my opinion, the second Sonic movie had more and bigger action. It looked every bit just as good as the first and had a more grand scale, like the giant final boss battle with the mega robotic Robotnik. However, I did also get annoyed, like I said in my review, when I felt like Sonic never really used his powers a lot in this movie, and we never really got an explanation as to why. I feel like if he did use his powers in a lot of the situations that they found themselves in, everything could have just been easily averted, but he almost never uses his super speed, the main thing that the character is known for. The first Sonic's action had a more narrow focus, and I felt it flexed Sonic's abilities far more often. There was the great highway chase sequence, there was the big bar fight where he had his Quicksilver moment, and I thought that was a ton of fun, and the epic final battle through the city when Robotnik can go at the same speed. The comedy for me was much weaker in Sonic 2. I found there were much less jokes for everyone to enjoy, and far more of the humor was targeted at the younger audience. And not in like, oh, you know, it's a movie for the kids kind of way, but in a like, oh, you know, farting and falling over all the time kind of way. Like that annoying, overly childish kind of way. As for the family elements, overall, I felt the first Sonic really did have something for everyone. It had some stuff for the adults, like Tom's big predicament of leaving Green Hills, had some good humor and more mature themes, again for the adults and for the kids to learn and grow as well. And also, just better storytelling in my mind. Sonic 2 had more childlike humor and moments, like the whole 10-minute long dance battle that just felt so out of place. And many of its themes were just recycled from the original. For me, this fourth round is also going to go to the first Sonic. Final round, memorability. When it came to determining what to look at for this final round, I really had to decipher why I enjoyed one movie more than the other. In this video, we have already looked at the characters, the story, and both movies' themes and elements like the action and comedy. So what it really came down to was memorability and originality. For me personally, I think that this first Sonic movie will go down in history as one of this generation's biggest surprise hits. Firstly, do you remember that first trailer? Do you remember when Sonic originally looked like this? When has a movie ever delayed its release to completely redesign its main character? Everyone thought that it was going to bomb at the box office, but instead it became a huge surprise hit. People loved this movie, and at the time they dubbed it the best video game movie of all time. And because of this, it immediately had a sequel that we're also discussing today, greenlit. And now speaking about said sequel, this movie did wonders for expanding this universe. We learn more about Sonic's home world and backstory. We learn about the Master Emerald. There is a mid-credits scene that sets up for another potential sequel that I hope we get to see, and we learn lots of other little things along the way too. Sonic learns about being a hero, responsibility, and growing up. Sure, the movie had the bigger action sequences and added in some new iconic characters from Sonic's lore, but after leaving the theater opening night, I just felt that it was lacking an extra little something. In the end, I just feel like the first Sonic movie had stronger themes. It had things in there for everyone to enjoy. A healthy helping of action, comedy, and heart. And was an astounding surprise hit. Don't get me wrong, the sequel is still a total blast. There is a ton of fun to be had. And when scoring these movies, for me, I'd say there's like a 0.5 of a score in difference. But I just don't feel that this sequel was as strong as its predecessor when considering everything at once. Therefore, I'm going to be giving this fifth and final round and the crown to the first Sonic the Hedgehog. So that is all for today's video, folks. Be sure to let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with my winner. While you're at it, feel free to let me know who you would have chosen to win each round and who your overall winner would have been. And also, don't forget to let me know what you'd like to see for the next Cinema Showdown. If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you'd like to see more content, consider subscribing to my channel and ringing that little bell icon. That way you can be notified about all of my latest uploads. And as always, stay safe. Thank you so much for watching. And that's a wrap. Hey you, yeah you, if you made it this far, just know I appreciate you. And while you're here, consider hitting that subscribe button.